Hello, Internet viewers. This is Frank Rauscher again. I'm going to start marking the feathers on here, and I will get you started on one side, and then I'll do the other side as well afterwards. And then I'm going to show you techniques on how to burn the feathers in, and then we'll do some lifting and getting some real detail where we get raised feathers in here. And that would be similar to, here's the one I have. If you can see how raised we have them in here, we come in and lift this grouping right in here. And the one in the mantle will be softer look. We'll do a little lifting in the tail coverts here, and then we'll also show you how to do the tail as well. So I'm going to switch the camera down so that you can see, and we'll talk about the dimensions and get everything that we need to start burning this in, and I'll show you how we do that too. Okay, so bear with me a second and I'll be right with you. Okay, here we go. We had put in this mantle line, which is represented on here on the drawing. This is like a cape of the bird in a sense. It's all this area right in here, and it's all this area right in here going right up to the head, and we map that out on here. Now, these feathers, which are the primaries, the secondaries, and the tertiaries, which are these whole group right in here that you can see readily. This is the top view. This is the profile view. I'm going to show you how to take measurements to get these pretty exact on the bird. And this is for a drop wing, which is this segment here. A lot of times birds will crisscross these feathers and overlay on each other. And this particular pose I picked, I am using a drop wing, which is this dropping down on its side. So just to change the pace, because birds are in different positions, and that's what I try to achieve, is getting a different look. And I've made this bird one time where I had the head turn 90 degrees rather than just slightly off the center here. So there's different ways of approaching it. But anyway, I'm going to start right here at the mantle and the center line of the bird's body, that is. This is right here coming down. I measured up before, just so I reiterate what I mentioned before, from the tail up, you want to come up 5 inches. That's where that mantle had started. So I'm just giving you that point again. Now, from here, I'm going to give you measurements coming down, and I'm going to do them really lightly. The first one I'm going to is we're going to try to draw these 3 feathers in. It's this one, and this one, just to start. And that is this one here, and this one right here. Okay. Now, I am going to do it like this. Let me see if I can stabilize this so it doesn't rock and roll so much. Okay, I'm going to measure down on here, and if I get the measurements correct, which I already started here somewhat, I have 7/8 down from this dot along this center line. I come down 7/8, put a dot. Then I come down 5/16 and put another dot. And then I'm going to do 5/16 again and put another dot. Okay, so we got 7/16, excuse me. And 5/16 and 5/16. Now at those dots, I want to lay my ruler so that the inch mark is running with the center line. And then what I'm going to do is lightly go across the edge here to get a perpendicular line to that body center line. And I'm going to do this again here. And I'm going to lay it down here. Now that I have that, this is the length to these tangent points where the feather turns and comes down. The other thing we want to do is from this point over to here, we have a dimension from the center line of the body out. We go 5/16. So we put a dot that side, and we go on this side 5/16. Put a dot. Now, that is the beginning point. So we measured from here to here. That is this feather right here, and it's going to be the same thing on the other side. Everything we do on one side, we're going to end up doing on the other side. So, just to get you started, the width of the feather, if you came over here and measured it, or even here, I should start you with here, is about 5/16. So what we're going to do from this dimension where we have that dot, I'm going to come out 5/16, put another dot right on the mantle, okay? So what we have is we located, this is the beginning of the feather, and this is the end of the feather, which is this one over here. So we're going to come, and if you notice, there's an angle to this. It's not, as you go down on the center line, it moves out, okay? So if I just, from this point, and I'm going to draw a real light line just to give me that angle. So I'm going to just go like this, just as a guide, that every time we put a feather in, we're moving away from the center. So these feathers are dropping down. So let me just get a little more extreme here. I'm going to just take a little more tact, just a little bit more, like that, okay? So my first feather, which is starting up here on the mantle, off of center, we're going to spin this around. These perpendicular lines are going to be tangent points to where we turn the feather, and then come up and join that other dot. And then this feather piggybacks off of this one, and you can see that there's a spacing in here off of this one. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to come down along that reference line I have, and then I'm going to come back up. Now, one of the things I didn't give you yet is the location of this feather, and I don't want to do that yet because this one's going to piggyback off of that one. So I'm going to come up here like this and get that feather up to that point, and then I'll draw this one in. Then we'll go for the third feather, which is this one right here, and you can see the spacing. It's a little over 1/8 of an inch, so I'm going to come down, turn around, and I want to be 1/8 of an inch off of that line when I come back up. So we're going to approximate it like so. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, and we got 1, 2, 3. So that starts us. Now, let's get to this one right here, okay? That is basically starting right with this first feather we put in, which is this one here. We are going to bring that one into play. So that is measured about a 1/4 of an inch in width. So if we come up here on the mantle where this first feather was, we're going to come out a 1/4 of an inch from that dot to this one. And I'm going to locate that right there. So it's a 1/4 of an inch from here to here. I'm going to draw this feather in, but I don't know how long it is. So if I measure this from the tip going right up the middle of the feather, it looks like it's 7/16. So I'm going to go and lay this out about 7/16, which is right there. So here's where I start the feather, here's where I end the feather, and this is where it's going to have a tangent point, which is, so that's the feather right there, or that one. And for the purposes of numbering, I'll put 1 in here, okay, which is number 1, okay? Now, if you notice, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 feathers that are piggybacking off of this. And one way to sort of help you guide this is take a measurement from the mantle out to here. And we'll do that. I'll get this ruler. And it's 3/8 away from the mantle, and it's paralleling the mantle. So if I come over here and measure out 3/8 and 3/8, I'll do that a couple of times along the mantle here. I'm going to draw a real light line just as a reference, okay? It's not going to be real hard and fast. It's just a guide to what these are here, okay? Now, here's what I'm going to do. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming off of number 1 feather. So they're about 1/8 of an inch apart. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to piggyback off of this one. And notice the angle. I'm trying to keep this angle right here that was established. So 1/8 of an inch out, and we turn. That's 1. Then there's 2, 3, 4. And what did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and one more is 5. Okay, hope I did that right. Then I'll get rid of this reference line here. Now, that's that grouping right there. That's this one right here coming down, okay? Now, the other thing we want to do is we have a bunch of feathers where we put this grouping in, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 here. Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming off of this last one. And if you notice, it's stepping down. It's sort of heading this way. And if you drew just a reference line, how it's piggybacking down, it's sort of coming in that direction. Okay, so I draw a faint line in there. Now, if you notice, these get wider in the back and they're thinner up here. This is a little more than 1/8 of an inch as we come back, maybe 3/16, and these are about 1/16 up here. So this is piggybacking off of this one. So I'm going to come around here off of this feather, roughly about 1/16 off of this one. And then as we come up here, this is going to get wider. So that's one. Like I said, we have this grouping coming down. Let me just come out here a little bit more. And we have this one, as I'll put it as the number 2 feather, which is here as a reference. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got to draw 5 more. So I'm going to piggyback off of this one. And you may not get this perfect the first time, you know, race it out and put it back in again. You know, I've been drawing a lot, so this may come easier to me and harder for other people. So let me come up. Now this one came all the way around, but these are gonna just come right in and stop right there. So let me get my count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 1, 2, 3. I got 4 here. And then I got 5. And 5 is going to swing all the way up. Even 4 could come up. And 5 is going to come up like this. And then peel in. And up there. Let me not make it so heavy so you can see it.